And welcome back to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina, right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Joining us in studio today is Daniel Paraski and Kim Anthony. They're the owners of Spectrum Life Design. They're also transformational trainers and life coaches. Before we went on a break, I was talking about how people go through the trainings, and in a short 3 to 5 days, what we're hearing people say is, wow, I've been doing some therapy for the last 5, 10, 15, even 30 years, and I've never got clear about my life and my direction and the things I need to work on than I have ever gotten before. And why do you think that is? Why are people having that type of experience when they're in the trainings?
Wow, I think it's that they're doing in our trainings, in the transformational trainings, the individual is doing all the work.
Yes.
They just don't sit there on a leather couch telling the doctor to,
Fix me or something.
Fix me, do it to me and fix me. And the same thing happens in our trainings. You just don't sit there and, okay, give me the training. No, you are the training. You're in the training.
Very active.
Taking action.
You're the content, right?
Yeah, you're getting all the no one's giving you the answers. We go through a small portion of a lecture. It's like 25% lecture, 50% an experiential exercise based on that lecture, and then 25% of it sharing. So even in the sharing, obviously it's all you. In the experience, it's all you. In the lecture, you're still involved and engaged in the lecture, because the question is, well, like for instance, what does trust mean to you? And we talk about that. What does trust mean to you? And the trainer is engaging with the students, and they're giving them answers. So even in the lecture, you're part of that.
You know what's amazing is that in the 5 days that you're in that room, there's not one boring moment.
Isn't that amazing?
No, I swear to God, you're not bored not once, because you're
Yeah.
hooked into other people's story and they're sharing, because you can see yourself through them. You can see, you're like, I do that.
Recognize yourself. Yeah, that's
Right?
the ultimate feedback, seeing who you are in someone else. There's therapy has its place, but therapy is about the past. In the training, I think what's so different about the training is you actually get to rematrix yourself based on now and who you are declaring yourself to be for the future. And it's not just lip service and new concepts. You're actually taking action. So by the time you hit the door and you're gone, you have momentum. And I think when people walk it out, that's when they start to create results immediately.
Just walk it
Yeah.
out. Just walk it out. Just
I
walk
always-
it
And
out.
one of the common things that's always being said in there is, what did you notice? That's put back on you as the individual.
So you're observing
Not
yourself.
Mr. Trainer, what did you notice about me? No, the trainer asked them, what did you notice?
So you're now taking responsibility for your own aha moments,
All of it.
your own learning,
You got to bring
your
it.
own realizations. You're in the captain seat, right?
Kind of like life.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's nothing like it in the world when you make a distinction about yourself. Something that's always been there, but you're just noticing it now.
You discover it yourself. Yeah, you hear yourself saying something.
You discover that. You go, oh my God, I never noticed that before. And when the individual does that, that is profound, and that's why it lives for like people like us who's done the training years ago. We're not talking about learning history in college.
No.
I can't remember that.
Or even
But-
some sort of seminar where you learn the 10 best ways to make your life work or
Exactly.
something.
It's
just,
an experience,
it's an
like riding a
experience.
That in
bike.
a webinar.
yeah,
Like
like
I-
your first kiss that you'll
Yeah.
always remember. For me,
Yeah.
it was a momentous experience, and so I will always remember it. And like that, I always remember my experience in transformation.
Yeah.
I mean, my advanced course is in the top 3 experiences of my entire life. And happened 8 years ago, and I think will still be, 20 years from now, will still be in the top 3 experiences of my entire life.
Being born and being born again.
Yeah, these trainings are still living in me.
Yeah.
They're still breathing life in me. It's still a constant in practice in the world, consciously just giving it life.
It's definitely a practice. It's not a magic wand. It's not therapy. It's an experience, and it's a practice. Tools.
You know, when I think of therapy, I like to think of therapy as that, therapy is reserved for the people that have become, what's that word I want to use? They become fragile in some of the things that they've gone through maybe experienced some trauma. So they're at a fragile stage. So therapy works for those. I think those people that are at that level, they need to kind of be nurtured and brought up. But I think for the most part, people have a champion inside of them that when you call it out of them, they're like, all right, let's bring it. And I think that for the most part, I think 95% of the world, there's a champion deep down inside that's waiting for someone else to see it in them,
And
call them on
That's
it,
it. Call 'em out
and
on
say,
it.
hey, dig down deep and let's cowboy up. Let's get back on the horse and let's
Calling it to
ride.
bigger
Yeah.
game.
Right now.
And that was what
Moving
happened to
out.
me. Was I got called up to playing a bigger game,
Yes.
and it was being called on all the whining, complaining, and all the stuff that wasn't working for me. Somebody had the courage to say, you got to stop that now. You got to step up, and you got to create these types of results because that's the only place I'm going to hold you.
By not living your potential, what is it costing you? What is it costing your family? What is it costing what your purpose for even being here?
How powerful. And that a lot of that happens in your leadership program, Velocity, right? That's where a lot of the practicing and the coaching one-on-one, because it's one thing to show up and, be courageous in the training room or show up and have an aha breakthrough while you're in the training room. But it's another thing to practice that when you're out in your real life with your
Yeah.
regular job, with your, regular family, and still practice transformation.
People on the freeway.
People on the
That's not
freeway when
on
you're
the train.
driving on the 405 when there's Carmageddon.
Let's talk about that when we come back to Velocity because that was the biggest breakthrough for me was that leadership program. That 2.5 month leadership program took me over the top.
You're listening to Life Leadership with Alex Urbina right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.